Among the cracks in the stones around your home grows a plant that has fed humans for thousands of years, survived the fall of empires, and never disappeared from human gardens. In 1050 BCE, someone in Greece stored its seeds in a clay vessel, and 3,000 years later, archaeologists found them in the same place, tiny, black, almost invisible, yet identical to the plants growing between the stones outside. In ancient cities, it was mentioned without excitement as just another green in dishes. In the Roman Empire, it was cultivated across the Mediterranean, and in medieval Europe, it appeared on the table at every meal, not as a rarity, but as an everyday food. In 1288, a Milanese chronicler listed it among the foods consumed daily by townspeople, alongside bread, vegetables, and legumes. On the other side of the Atlantic, indigenous peoples grew it alongside sunflowers, pumpkins, and amaranth, and archaeologists later found seeds dated to the 8th century BCE in Kentucky and seeds nearly 1,000 years old in Ontario. Two civilizations, separated by an ocean, came to the same conclusion. This plant is essential. Why? Because it grows where other crops fail, survives heat, drought, and salty soil, and yet provides edible, nutritious leaves containing fatty acids usually found only in fish, as well as vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. 20th century scientists noticed another peculiarity. Populations that regularly ate purslane showed abnormally low rates of cardiovascular disease, despite high fat consumption from other foods. They studied blood, tested samples, rechecked analyses, because the results seemed impossible. People ate the plant daily in salads and stews, fed it to animals, and those animals, in turn, became part of the human diet. Purslane, in essence, nourished entire ecosystems alongside humans. Botanists began studying its growth and discovered a unique mechanism. It combines several types of photosynthesis simultaneously. It grows quickly during the day and conserves moisture at night, using a system that is usually separate in other plants. This is almost impossible for terrestrial greens, yet purslane does it constantly. Every stem, every branch, can take root at a new point. Seeds can remain viable for decades, and a single mature plant can produce hundreds of thousands of new seeds. The plant's history is full of such examples. In Greece, it was called glista. In India, kulfa. In China, machisan. In Mexico, verdas, prepared with garlic and peppers, added to summer salads and stews. Everywhere, it served as an accessible and incredibly nutritious green. Today, researchers observe the same phenomenon. It grows in cities, on lawns, between paving stones, in places where most crops fail, and it provides more nutrients per square meter than many conventional foods that cost tens of dollars in stores. This plant is not a weed. It is a living historical witness, a superfood before the word superfood existed. It has survived civilizations, wars, and climate catastrophes. It simply continues to live, grow, and feed those who recognize its value. And that is why the story of purslane is not just about botany, it is about how humanity for millennia used nature more wisely than we do today, and how the extraordinary can literally hide beneath our feet. For centuries, purslane has played the role of an inconspicuous helper to humanity, almost unnoticed until researchers examined it closely. In the 14th to 15th centuries in Spain and Portugal, purslane was used not only as a culinary green but also as a survival tool during hot years. Sailors took it on long voyages because its leaves retained moisture and nutrients even after weeks in the hold, while travelers along the desert routes of North Africa reported that purslane could replace almost any fresh green and served as a light source of vitamins when other food spoiled quickly. In Central America, it grew alongside peasants' fields of corn and beans. There, purslane was considered a soil guardian plant. It protected grains from drying out and pests, creating a natural mulch layer. Some 15th century documents mention that purslane growing between corn rows prevented soil erosion during heavy rains, holding the top fertile layer in place and boosting the yield of neighboring crops. In Japan, it was collected from rooftops and in the crevices of stone fences. People believed that purslane strengthened health and prolonged life, including it in dishes for the elderly and children. Leaves were lightly fried with soy sauce, added to rice soups, or sometimes pickled for winter. Elders' accounts confirm that even in drought years, purslane remained fresh, nutritious, and ready to eat, making it a strategic food reserve for health. In the 1920s, California farmers noticed that purslane appeared in dry years, where other crops failed. It began to be used to enrich pastures, fed to goats and chickens. Reports say that animals remained healthy even in the hottest seasons, and the meat and milk gained better taste. Similarly, in Africa, it was fed to livestock during droughts, and people observed that purslane helped maintain nutrition during difficult years when ordinary vegetables and grasses disappeared. European monasteries used purslane in unusual ways. French chronicles of the 15th century describe monks adding the leaves to infusions to strengthen immunity and improve digestion. In villages in England and Scotland, it was soaked and preserved in brine to ensure greens for winter months. Dried leaves and stems were used as natural mulch and even as a fabric dye, producing a light green shade. In 21st century South America, purslane attracted attention not only as food, but also as an ecological tool. Urban planners and agronomists discovered that the plant lowers soil and rooftop temperatures in urban settings, creating a microclimate. It supports biodiversity, attracting insects and birds, and on vacant lots, serves as a living cover protecting the soil from erosion and drought. In Asian agro-ecosystems, it is planted alongside rice and legumes because it helps retain moisture and supports neighboring plants' growth while requiring no care or fertilizers. Traditional cuisines around the world demonstrate its versatile use. In India, purslane leaves are added to soups and bean stews, giving dishes a tangy freshness. In Mexico, they are sautéed with garlic and chili for a light, nutritious summer snack. In coastal regions of China, they are mixed with seafood for a balance of taste and nutrition. In Africa, leaves are added to starchy dishes for children to increase the intake of greens and vitamins. Modern farmers have also noted interesting observations. In Europe and the US, purslane is used in urban gardens, planted on rooftops, in concrete cracks, and even among paved sidewalks. It requires no irrigation, propagates easily, remains decorative, and provides multiple benefits at once, as food, soil protection, and microclimate support. Laboratories note its ability to withstand sharp temperature swings and recover quickly from damage, making the plant almost indestructible in urban conditions. Stories of purslane intertwine with culture, daily life, and survival. In Africa, it was fed to livestock and children during droughts. In India and China, it was prepared as a regular green. In Europe, leaves were preserved for winter consumption. Even today, researchers in cities discover new properties. It lowers surface temperature, supports biodiversity, and remains a nutritious green. People continue to find ways to include purslane in their diets, confirming that over centuries, it has remained a universal helper to humanity. Purslane is more than a green. It is a living survival tool, a millennia-old history accompanying humanity in the harshest conditions. Its leaves have been used by sailors, travelers, monks, peasants, farmers, and modern urban dwellers. It protects soil, animals, and humans while remaining accessible, easy to use, and remarkably resilient. Every new discovery shows that this plant is not merely part of the past, but a resource for the future, capable of supporting life and ecosystems where other crops cannot survive. And the most astonishing part, purslane continues to reveal new properties. Modern researchers note its role in sustainable urban systems, agroecology, nutrition, and culinary applications. It requires no care, propagates easily, and survives where other plants perish. Every generation of people has found new ways to use purslane, and today we continue to uncover its secrets. In the 21st century, this plant remains a symbol that nature can be more generous and resilient than we often assume, and that the simplest plants can hide incredible potential if we are willing to notice. Today, purslane continues to amaze not only scientists, but also anyone who simply observes the world around them. It is said that in some regions, farmers use it as a natural barrier against insects. Its leaves and stems repel pests while leaving surrounding crops unharmed. In ecological projects across Europe and Asia, purslane is incorporated into micro-gardens and green corridors in cities because it helps retain moisture, cool the soil, and create a microhabitat for insects and birds, supporting biodiversity. In some villages in Africa and South America, an old practice is still followed. Purslane leaves are dried and used as a natural feed supplement for livestock, which then becomes part of the human diet. It is said that this way, people in these regions secured a reliable source of greenery even during years of drought and famine. In certain parts of Asia, the tradition of using purslane as an ingredient in summer infusions and drinks has been preserved, with leaves consumed to cool the body during the hottest months regarded as living water of the earth. 21st century scientists continue to explore new properties of the plant because each season reveals something new: unique compounds, adaptive mechanisms, and ecological benefits. Purslane proves that nature has long devised solutions that modern technology is only beginning to understand, and perhaps observing it can guide us toward new methods of growing food, restoring land, and maintaining ecosystems in cities and rural areas alike. Ultimately, this plant is a symbol that the extraordinary is often hidden in plain sight. It grows underfoot, in cracks, along roadsides and on rooftops, and all that is required of us is to recognize its value. Purslane reminds us that the simplest things can be the most important. The most ordinary leaves can be the key to resilience, survival, and health. And nature knows how to amaze us exactly where we least expect to look.